not true. What's he saying? I've got direction. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going to take this country.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rush Limbaugh.
Thank you. Would you all please be seated, except the woman with the license plate. Would you remain standing? Now, you're holding it upside down. I want to correct. Faz, get a shot of it. Now, see that? That's a New York license plate. It says, "See, I told you." Named after my new bestseller, "See, I Told You So." They just didn't have room to put the "so" in it. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. She offered me that license plate earlier during the audience briefing and then told me I couldn't have it. Also, you know, my friends, the stars come out for this show. In our front row tonight is the lead guitarist in the Neil Diamond Band. They've been in town here in New York. Hadley Hawkinsmith is here. Hadley, give a wave. There he is. What hotel are you staying at? Okay, he's leaving the today, and some people say, "So, Hadley, where are you going?" He says, "I'm going over to the Rush Limbaugh show." Ooh, why are you going there? Isn't that about how they treated it? But Hadley still came, my friends. He was not deterred by the unapproval or disapproval of those who asked it. It's great to have you here. I'm a huge fan of Neil Diamond and his music, and I'm delighted that you're in the audience. Now, folks, we've got to start off tonight with the latest on Armed Forces radio and television. Now, earlier today on our radio show, we dealt with news, the latest news available to us at that time. And here's basically what it was. The member of Congress, Robert Dornan, who's an occasional guest host on my radio program, sent a letter to the Secretary of Defense, Les Aspin. This letter was signed by about 71 members of Congress, a couple members of the Senate. And by the way, that number is not the total number he could get. That's just the most he could get on the last day Congress was in session. He expects this letter to be signed by fully 200 to 300 members of the United States Congress. And the reason he's sending the letter is that the Rush Limbaugh radio show and the Rush Limbaugh TV show are not available on Armed Forces Radio or Armed Forces Television. And he's traveled the world since August. Been out on a fact-finding mission. He's been to India. He's been to Egypt, Pakistan. He's been over at the Far East. He's been in Somalia. He says everywhere he goes, there are men and women in uniform who are watching videotapes of this show that their families have sent them, and they're listening to audio tapes of the radio show their families have sent them, and they see him and they know that he's a guest host of the radio show, and they take a copy of my book up to him and say, "Here, Congressman, would you sign this for me, please?" And he says he's been just overwhelmed with the number of people who want to see and hear the Rush Limbaugh shows, and the United States Armed Forces Network is not making them available. So the letter goes out, and yesterday at the Pentagon, Kathleen Delaski, who is the Pentagon chief spokesman, was asked about this by a couple members of the press. So we have two clips from Kathleen Delaski as to how she dealt with this, and I want to show you both clips because there's updated information from what she says here, but this will put it in perspective for you as we move on. Watch clip number one.
Rush Limbaugh fans may be sad to learn that the latest survey of randomly selected military audience members showed that at least for the Rush Limbaugh TV show, only 0.02% of them wanted it on the Armed Forces Television, American Forces Radio and Television Service. I don't think this is so much a swipe at Rush Limbaugh. It's more of an issue of the interest in talk radio in general on our broadcast service. Apparently, only 3.9% asked for any talk radio show at all. So they're mostly, the interest is sports and music.
Okay, now, we have been on the phone all afternoon since I arrived here at the TV studio. We've been on the phone with Kathleen Delaski and with the Defense Department over at the Pentagon, and they have done a total mea culpa. These numbers are all wrong. And I want to play one more cut from Kathleen. Now, I'll give you the details after the second cut from Kathleen Delaski. Watch this one.
The other problem with the Rush Limbaugh radio show, and we did not ask any. We don't have a percentage of people who are interested in that show specifically for radio. We only had the general. When asked, do you want talk radio programs, we only got 3.9% that said yes. The other problem with the Rush Limbaugh radio show is that it's 3 hours long, and when you have only limited, you've got one channel basically and limited amounts of time. Apparently, we had a discussion with the Rush Limbaugh producers back in June about could you offer a much abridged version, and at that time the answer was no.
Nobody can remember that phone call. I call a management team at EIB of radio. Nobody remembers telling anybody at the Defense Department that we wouldn't give them 3 hours because we'll give them whatever they want. We demand our commercial stations carry all 3 hours, just like every other syndicator of a radio program does. But if the Armed Forces Radio Network wants it 30 minutes, we'll give them 30 minutes. This goes back to the Gulf War. This whole thing starts at the Gulf War when if there's a hawk on American radio and TV, it's me. Everywhere else in the media, all during Reagan and up through Bush, most of the media is opposed to the military. The media is the focus of the military is the focus of evil. They're cruel, they're mean, and all that. And this is the one show which celebrates and honors the men and women who've offered their lives in sacrifice, who've given their lives in sacrifice, and their families. And we just couldn't understand what this was all about. So I called. Nobody can remember this conversation where we said you got to take it all. We really wouldn't say that. Now, as to these numbers, I have here the actual surveys. I got them. They faxed us the surveys. And what's really amazing about this, she said that 0.02% of the respondents in the military want the TV show. Well, we got this, and it's not 0.02, it's 0.2. That's a shift of 18%. So instead of 0.02%, it's 20% want to see the TV show. But here's the question. What single thing could your Armed Forces Radio TV service TV station do to make viewing more entertaining or informative? And they list all these generic things, from nothing to make schedules of programs available to more sports, less sports, more movies, less movies. And then it says down here, get Rush Limbaugh. Now, they didn't offer that as a suggestion. This was written in by the members of the military responding to the survey. No other name was mentioned. No other name. Not one other name was mentioned in this survey. It doesn't say down here, get Larry King or get Sally Jesse Raphael, or it says get Rush Limbaugh. This is an amazingly positive story for this show. But you've seen the way this stuff's been written in the news. Nobody cares. You saw how Kathleen Delaski reported it. Nobody wants it. Sorry to disappoint the Rush Limbaugh fans. I'll tell you what's been happening. The phones at the Pentagon have been ringing off the wall all afternoon because of this. Let's go to the radio side. The radio side is the same thing here, the same question. What single thing could your AFERTS radio station do to make listening more entertaining or informative? And all the same generic topics. And it's down more talk radio, Rush Limbaugh. And this one is about 4%. It's an amazing thing that's positive that has not been reported that way. No other name is mentioned. So, as we're getting ready to do the show this afternoon, guess what? I'm sitting in my real TV host's announcer's office in there, and the phone rings, and it's Les Aspin, the Secretary of Defense. No, seriously, I pick up the phone and said, Mr. Secretary, how are you, sir? And he's going, oh, man, I tell you what, I love your show. I'd listen to you in Wisconsin. You come in loud and clear out there. I agree with what you're saying. You're funny. I said, look, Mr. Limbaugh, we've got to do something about this because it's just clear that there's been some miscommunication here on the length of time of your show and all that. We've got to find a way to get this, and we're going to work real seriously on this. We really are. But you've got to understand that we have a serious balance problem. We've got to balance everything we do on our network. And I said, Mr. Secretary, with all due respect, if you think you can't find a liberal to balance me, why don't you try Peter Jennings? Just rerun the ABC News after you run my show. I said that to him. And then I said, if that doesn't do, run Dan Rather and Connie Chung. And if that doesn't do, try Brokaw. But the problem you're having is that none of the liberals out there will admit that that's what they are. But there's plenty of ways to balance me, and I'm glad you called. I appreciate and understand your sincere effort on this. He said, it's an honor to speak to you, sir. So apparently now we're going to get the ball rolling toward getting this show and the Rush Limbaugh radio show on Armed Forces Radio and TV. And so, to those of you who've been responding, I'm sure, like I said, the phones at the Pentagon have been going nuts. And to Congressman Dornan and all of those who signed the letter that he wrote, you have our deepest and sincere thanks, because the United States military is something that this program, everybody that works on it, same with radio, has the deepest respect for, the most profound admiration. We go out of we never forget Memorial Day on this show. We never forget Veterans Day. We always do an entire segment every time, because we know what these people have meant to this country. And for us to be told that we somehow are not wanted by those people, or that we're not balanced, it just is not right, and we're not going to let it stand. And we're going to get it fixed, and we thank you for what you've done. We've got a break. We'll come back with more after this. Don't go away.
You don't need an invitation, ain't no black tie affair. Life is just a party, all your friends are there. Don't just raise a glass, come on and take a look. That's when America parties. It cooks. Had a party going since 1859. Toasted decks, alcohol, and old lang syne. When you do it this good, you better throw away the book. That's when America parties. It cooks. When America parties. It cooks.
Listen, it's America's favorite Christmas music. Mannheim Steamroller. The music that changed forever the sound and rhythm of the season. Look for this display and make Mannheim Steamroller a part of your Christmas tradition.
Where can you find the biggest savings on toys? The Playco pre-Christmas sale. Save up to 60% store-wide. Hurry, sale on now.
Now at Circuit City, get 0% interest for 6 months on everything over $299. Pay 0% for top brand appliances, audio, video, computers, and more. Plus, get this 4-head VCR with remote for just $169. And this sharp 25-inch TV with remote, only $279. Get 0% interest for 6 months on everything over $299. Now at Circuit City.
Welcome to Circuit City, where service is state-of-the-art.
The Ross store-wide clearance. Prices have been reduced dramatically throughout the store. Great savings for men, women, and kids. The Ross store-wide clearance. Now.
Right now, Aaron Brothers is having its last 1-cent frame sale before Christmas. For every frame you buy at the original price, you get another that costs the same or less for just 1 cent at Aaron Brothers.
Now, just so you know, we are going to call the State Department, Kathleen Delaski, on Thursday and ask for a retraction of all of this, because it's been in every newspaper around this country. L.A. Times calling today, the New York Daily News, and all these, they love it. See, they love anything that suggests that I am not as big or powerful or as successful as what the other evidence out there, such as book sales or audience ratings numbers, would suggest. And, of course, it's going to be tough getting reprints on this. We're going to have to try to do it ourselves. But it's just, it's a frustrating thing if you've ever been through anything like this. I'm sure many of you have. All right, it's, as you know, World AIDS Day. And members of the administration have been out performing various symbolic acts to show how much they're doing in the fight against AIDS. First off, Donna Shalala, the Secretary of, Health and Human Services? And Jocelyn Elders is back. They were out serving breakfast today, something to do with AIDS, and this is what happened.
It has been 1 year. More people have died in the last year than the last 12 years of George Bush and Ronald Reagan. And all you can do is serve breakfast and smile for the cameras, wear red ribbons, hide in the quilts, but people are dying, and your administration is doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. statements.
I'm not sure who this photo op is for.
Ooh, did you hear that? I'm not sure who this photo op is for. So you're admitting all this is a photo op. There's nothing substantive going on here. Hey, how does it feel? How does it feel, Miss Shalala, to feel like Ronald Reagan got it and George Bush? You guys are going to save the world, right? And they're mad at you now. Now, but this guy wasn't through because the president later made a speech and this guy found out where and showed up there. And this is what happened over there.
The purpose of this day is to remind us that our attitudes, behavior, and passion should be revved up in the other 364 days of the year.
You're so concerned about AIDS. Where's the Manhattan Project on AIDS that you promised during your campaign? 1 year, lots of talk, no action. 30 recommendations of the National Commission on AIDS go sitting on a shelf, gathering dust in your White House, Bill, while me and my community are dying in ever-increasing numbers, and all you do is talk. Talk is cheap, and we need action. You are hiding behind the quilt. You are doing nothing. Look at your record, Bill. 1 year, no results. The Manhattan Project on AIDS that you promised during the campaign, where is it? 30 recommendations of George Bush's Commission on AIDS. You promised to implement them during your campaign. Where are they? 1 year. Slick Willie. The Republicans were right. You are doing nothing. Why we die? You are sitting on your hands. Clock is cheap. We need action. It's time to put up or shut up, Bill. Put up or shut up. The Manhattan Project on AIDS. Research, we need it now.
Man, oh man, it is so nice to see those people yelling at them for a change. But you know something? I'll tell you, I have to tell you something here really quickly, folks. The simple fact of the matter is that I just saw a story on TV. San Francisco young gay men are just going crazy in those bathhouses out there with unprotected sex. And the one thing these people have never, ever recognized or realized is that it's their own personal responsibility that's going to be the biggest factor in all this, because this is a virus, and there's no virus that's ever been cured by man, and this one is not going to be cured, if ever, for a long, long time. And the idea that Bill Clinton was going to get something done in a year, who were these people kidding? Now, how did he respond? How did the president respond? This is choice. Watch this.
The fact that he's in here expressing his frustration, to me, means at least that they expect me to do something, which is a step forward. I don't take it personally.
Bill, it's not your fault. Why, here, he's got another response. Watch this.
I'd rather that man be in here screaming at me than having given up altogether. Much rather.
We'll, speaks for itself. Be back after this with more. Don't go away. Are you stymied trying to come up with holiday gift ideas? I got one for you, the Limbaugh letter. Each 12-page issue is a beacon of truth in an age of liberal lies and deceit. Impress a parent, influence a friend, convert a liberal. It's fun. Give 12 months of the Limbaugh letter for just $29.95. It's a year for those of you in Rio Linda. Order now. Your holiday gift will include my official 1994 Rush poster calendar, El Fribo. Call 1-800-796-4200. That's 800-796-4200.
New men's cologne. It's one fashion that outlives the fad.
Yeah. Let Long John Silver's brighten your holiday season with sparkling crystal. Collect stemware, our coffee mug, or our beautiful new dessert plate. Each just 99 cents with any meal.
Long John Silver!
Here is all of the beauty, all of the magic, all of the fantasy in motion. Led by Olympic gold medalist Christy Yamaguchi, with silver medalist Paul Wiley, the stunning artistry of Isabelle and Paul Duchemin, and China's bright star of the future, Lu Chen. Share the joy when an international all-star special comes home for the holidays. Holiday Festival on Ice.
Friday at 8 on very independent Channel 13.
Attention drivers with tickets or accidents on your driving record. Dasher's Insurance Service is now offering full coverage auto insurance with the absolute lowest down payment guaranteed. Even if you've been canceled.
Even if you've just bought a new car.
Dashers will write your new policy with the absolute lowest down payment guaranteed. In fact, our average down payment is just $157. Call for a quote. Dashers Insurance Service. We're in the Pacific Bell Smart Yellow pages under insurance.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, the Los Angeles Times has a new style sheet based on political correctness. There are certain things that you cannot say in the Los Angeles Times anymore. And we got the last issue before these new guidelines went into account. And I've got this story here. It's amazing. It's no wonder that they had some of these new guidelines. Well, this is really good. Here, let me read this to you. Disturbance in inner city restaurant ends peacefully. The calm of a ghetto restaurant was shattered yesterday as a tidal wave of deaf-mute immigrants sat down for a late-night powwow. So you can't say powwow or tidal wave of deaf-mute immigrants anymore in the LA Times. That's why to get this story in. The co-ed, can't say that either, gathering of Indians, holy rollers, male nurses, wasps, admitted homosexuals, and white trash had gathered to discuss the effects of man-made pollution. All went well until the waitress, a crazy bra-burning divorcee, so you can't say any of that either, came over with the check. Then pandemonium developed. A mailman. You can't say mailman in the Los Angeles Times anymore. You can't. It's considered pejorative. A mailman who had happened by described the ensuing melee as looking like a Chinese fire drill. You can't say Chinese fire drill in the LA Times anymore. One gal got up. You can't say gal anymore. And said, ran for the door, knocking down a lame old biddy who was trying to add up the figures. You can't say biddy in the LA Times, and you can't say lame. Everything returned to normal. You can't say normal in the Los Angeles Times anymore. Everything returned to normal once a group realized they hadn't been gypped. You can't say gypped anymore in the LA Times. The queer manager of the restaurant, you can't use queer anymore. A village hangout called Mankind, you can't say mankind in the LA Times anymore, said they were a polite group and there wasn't a Welsher among them. You can't say Welsher. It seems they had already agreed to go Dutch treat. Can't say Dutch treat anymore. The manager said, and anyway, an Anglo member of the party added, we wouldn't walk out on the check. That waitress was a real babe. You can't say babe in the LA Times. Almost every word in that story you can't say anymore in the Los Angeles Times. But I found these words here and just got it in the nick of time before they put their new style book into effect. Okay, when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, our salute to World AIDS Day. Condoms around the world, and we'll do some other things too if we have time, which we will have if we go away now, which we are. So don't go away.
I've heard so much about the benefits of garlic, and I'm one of those, if it's good for my family, I'm going to find it kind of people. And I found this report from the First World Congress on the health significance of garlic, which mentions Kyolic garlic. Kyolic has all the benefits of garlic, and you only take 1 caplet a day. With the other brands, you have to take up to 6. So I'm giving my family Kyolic, because if it's good for my family, that's good enough for me. Kyolic, it's absolutely odorless. That's a promise.
Men's cologne. It's one fashion that outlives the fad.
Yeah.
I tried these laxatives, but now my doctor recommends Dulcolax. Only Dulcolax has a special comfort coating designed not to irritate my stomach. Doctors recommend Dulcolax more than X-Lax and Correctol combined.
Experience the comfort of Dulcolax.
The crowd is going bonkers here at the Sports Arena.
Sean Kemp. Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, what a dunk!
Charles Barkley.
Oh, my!
And the other NBA superstars are all part of the Clippers' big 7-game superstar packages. For as little as $98, you'll see the Clippers battle the best players in the NBA. Call 213-748-0500. Call now.
A1 Carpet Care.
It's the first name in reliable service and the last word in customer satisfaction. For over 20 years, A1 Carpet Care has built a reputation as the cleanest name of business with consistently low prices. It's another A1 TV special. Call and mention this commercial and you'll save 33% on A1 carpet cleaning. Don't wait. Call now and save 33%. Call 1-800-44-CLEAN now.
The experts who really care. A1 Carpet Care.
Hey. Welcome back to Rush Limbaugh Television Show. It's World AIDS Day. And what do you think the biggest thing you can do on World AIDS Day is? You can promote the use of condoms, apparently, because there's a big celebration worldwide. Here's just some examples of how this is happening. Take a look. This is a dance party over in Japan. This is what they do. Then you're going to see next the it's a guy walking around as a condom. Watch this. This is a big monument over in Paris, and they're actually draping the thing with a huge condom. I mean, it's an age-old statue over there. And now watch Santa Claus condom and Christmas tree condom. And then, of course, you can go out and wear these red ribbons, ladies and gentlemen, that say, you know, when you wear a red ribbon, it's moral exhibitionism. When you wear those ribbons, it's saying, I care more than you. You don't care at all. I'm a better person than you because you don't care. World AIDS Day, they're turning out the lights for 15 minutes all over America, all over the world. We, in honoration of that, are going to celebrate by turning out all of our lights on our TV show. Oh, no!
Services provided and promotional fees paid by the following.
The authentic GOP baseball cap. Wear your true colors with this wool blend cap that's fully adjustable and American-made. Call 1-800-97-TRUTH.
Hey, Remington, shave this. Introducing the Remington Triple Foil, the only shaver with 3 narrow microscreens. Remington Triple Foil. If you can grow it, we can shave it.
Quit chewing tobacco with Mint Snuff, all mint chew. Mint Snuff is made from mint, not tobacco. Ask for Mint Snuff at grocery and convenience stores.
You say 30 minutes of Rush is not enough for you? Why don't you try a full 3 hours? Tune in Rush Limbaugh from 9 to noon tomorrow on KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk radio. And now, the People's Court is coming up next on LA's Very Independent.
If you'd like to order a video cassette of Rush's TV show for only $24.95, just call Video Archives at 1-800-FOR-VIDEO. For a transcript, send $5 to Burrell's, Box 7, Livingston, New Jersey, 07039. Or call 1-800-777-TECH.